Greetings, listeners and viewers. Your host for the night, Zach, here, introducing you to The Call 1973, a Call of Cthulhu podcast by Twisted Gears Studios. This was all recorded over a year ago, so many of the learnings over the past year of recording The Call you may notice are not present. You won't see any inclusion of luck or penalty dice. However, Derek will be showing off a set of dice made by our friends over at Divine Soul Dice. Our Ko-fi has undergone some changes as well. You will now find that there are 3 tiers. Please look for our video link for information and in-depth overview of what that all looks like. For each month that you are in the Creative Collaborator tier or higher, your name will go into a draw. At the end of the arc, I will draw the winner at the end of the episode finale, and we will get your info to send you the dice that Derek used to mess with us in that session, or in all these sessions. So thank you, Divine Soul Dice, for the custom 1973-inspired resin dice set. Also, if you want to support the channel in other ways, we have a merch shop. So go grab some shirts, hats, mugs. We'll be changing up the shop every once in a while, so stay tuned for when changes happen. Being that the Call 1973 is about to come to a conclusion, if there is some Call 1973 merch you are interested in, you might want to start taking a look at that. But for now... Last but not our investigators, they have reunited, having escaped from the horde upstairs. They now investigate a hidden basement beneath the hospital.
Just to let the listeners and viewers know, just prior to starting this, I had all the characters go through all the skills they had check marks in, and that would be failed skills. You get a check mark in the skill, and then at the end of what's considered a session, you get to add a D4 to that skill permanently. I had them go through it off screen because it would have taken a bit of time, but just to let you know that so far through these episodes, this is the second time, and at the end, there will be a third time, and that's sort of how I'm balancing it. So it's not like every hour. I'm looking at it as the 4-hour session that you would normally see in a regular game.
Cool.
Fair enough? Cool. Let me get a little sip of coffee here. You're all motherfucking dead. Okay.
Probably close.
So, as far as I recall, correct me if I'm wrong, it's so long ago. I don't even know how I keep the call stuff in my mind. 6 months. But, as far as I know, Trish is around 10, 15 feet back from the open security doors. Mm-hmm. Or not security doors, but just the doors, yes. The double doors leading into this massive lab, if you will, mechanical enterprise, machine, testing facility. At this testing facility, looking down the dark corridor toward the elevator that you came down her on, yeah. with her general purpose machine gun at the ready to, fucking shoot things if they decide to come down that way.
My heavy weapon skill is not as good as my firearms, but here's hoping.
Okay, fair enough. Then we have Mr. Mick. And we have Nurse Harrison, mm-hmm. and you are at the research desks where there's some papers and stuff like that. So far, looking around the room, you haven't been really able to figure out much of what's going on here, other than the information that was granted from Ginny, who's at the computer, who is sort of looked into it and looked through some operational files and stuff on the computer. It takes a little bit of time, of course, because this is not now. This is way, way back when. Right? But you did figure out a way to start whatever a process is in this other chamber by inputting the back 8 cards in order from the final 24 and the first 8 cards in front of you. So you're at the computers. And Agent Halbrecht, Special Agent Daniel J. Halbrecht, is with Ginny. Or Dr. E. Or Virginia.
Whatever.
And that is where we're starting.
Where did you say you studied out of?
I studied out of?
Well, no, you said you got your doctorate. Where did you get that from again?
I got that from the Boston University of Medicine.
Right, and what was your doctorate in again?
Chemistry. But I also have specialization in biology and botany.
And computers.
Yes, because the scientist would use computers to put data onto it.
Just inquiring. That's a lot.
So I'm going to explain, because I know all this information. Does everybody else know this information?
No, this is the information that you have read off the computer.
Can I ask a quick question then? Because my intention's been like looking over her shoulder. Can I understand what it says in the computer, or is it like written in such a way that only she can understand it?
Well, no, it would be files.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm willing to say that Agent Halbrecht, looking over with the document you're bringing up, has also been able to pick out basically the same information as you in that regards. I think that's fair because he did state he was watching. Yeah, it's not that you're reading 1001110.
No.
It's just bringing up the proper little written documents, sort of like on the Fallout games, the green screen, with the
Yeah.
that type of thing.
All right. Well then, if you're able to pull up information, is this the console that would be used to open the door?
Yeah, but it has to be open in a certain way. So I'm going to need your help.
All right.
Because we have to interchange these cards correctly, or I don't know what will happen.
Well, then, do you have the sequence there? Do you know how to correctly open it?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
basically, and I'll just walk you through the
Tell
process.
me exactly what you need to do.
So it's basically interchanging the cards in a certain order. So I'll tell you what order it is. You've got 8, I've got 8, and we're just gonna
Perfect.
do that thing.
Yeah, so just to streamline that, after you finish saying that, you take the back 8 cards out and have them in the order, because it's back to front for the back 8, and then you have that stack in the order they go in, and you take the front 8 cards and you slot one in, and then you'll slot your next one.
The
Then
one
you'll
she tells me,
Yeah, and then it just keeps
and then you'll alternate back and forth till all 8 are in, while the rest of you are still sort of doing your thing.
Searching the room.
Okay, fair enough. There is no movement or anything to do with the elevators or anything like that down here. So as you're watching, not much is happening. But the 3 people not at the computers, you do hear sort of a grinding sound like something's happening near the computer. It's like, as you enter into data cards, it's basically a huge safe. So each data card is unlocking a safety measure in that safe.
Oh.
Click, 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 click. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
As we're doing this, I'll be like, I might recommend if you have masks, perhaps putting them on would be a good idea. Yeah. So tell everyone, put their masks on. Don't know what's on the other side of the door. What we're here for is possibly on the other side.
Good. All right, thanks. Masks on. Masks on.
Is everyone putting a mask on?
Yes.
Okay, so as you finish the sequence, and the system is almost shaking slightly, it's just as these locks are being removed, and as the last card, which would be yours, right, the last one that you put in, there was, I remember the sheets of metal I was saying, like a door, like the bottom one slides in,
Ka-chunk, ka-chunk,
chunk,
ka-chunk,
chunk, chunk, all the way up. And then between the computers, right? Because that's the thing. There's a hallway down, and you see just lights, clink, 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 go in maybe 200 foot.
Holy
my God.
shit, that's a...
Which means military science land. I'm using that, or survival. I'm using that to judge. Actually, survival would be more appropriate to this. It's judging distance of how far you could potentially be from the hospital underground.
Oh.
Because you're definitely away from the hospital.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Because even this room itself is large enough that by the time we're at one end of it, we're no longer under the hospital.
Correct. Right?
Do
So I will.
you need one roll from us or individual rolls?
I'm going to suggest. Actually, I'm going to suggest because I was going to do military science land, but I do think survival would be the best thing for judging distance. So who has the highest survival?
He does.
My military science land is my higher of the 2.
52 is my survival.
Okay.
Makes sense.
So I will let this just to have a general idea. Sorry, I just I haven't really ran this system, so I'm trying to wrap. And I was like, oh yeah, survival exists. Okay, go ahead.
36 is
Nice.
success.
Nice.
Now,
The answer to this is gonna be-
from when you came down the elevator, And even though it was a little bit, disconcerting and stuff like that, and there was a fairly long hallway then. That hallway, because remember where the elevator went down, that hallway cut underneath the hospital, right? Because it was facing, and then on the other side, remember I said it was like the wall, the edge of the hospital. So that hallway ran, and I believe I mentioned, and I'm pretty sure I did, that the hallway seemed to be maybe the length of the hospital. Or I never said it to all of you, but I said it to you. I think that's what it is and why I don't think.
Said it to Ginny.
Said it to Ginny. Thank you. Thank you, Trish. I will need to be corrected from time to time. This has been a long couple of days. But now, as you get to this continues on even further, and it's guaranteed that this is going to go out past the tent area, underground, into the jungle.
Huh.
Okay. And then, as you look down, I believe I said it was around 200 feet, correct?
Yeah, 200 feet.
Around 200 feet. As you look right down, and the lights are like clink, 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 clink. That's the sound of lights, I guess. I don't know. Light noises. At the end, you can see what just looks like to be a normal office door, like you've seen in the hallway. Just an office.
That's weird.
Oh, God.
Just an office door.
Okay.
All right.
I'm guessing that's the direction we're going?
That's a little disconcerting that there's only like one door down
Well,
this
when you
hallway.
consider that this is the end of the road for it, this big door that we needed all these computer cards to access.
Yeah.
I-
I was expecting something else. Like, not, like, this is weird.
Blast door, it could be whatever they want on the other side of it, I suppose.
Then why even have a door?
Follow the white rabbit, boys and girls.
Sergeant, if you'd
Yes,
be
sir.
so kind.
Okay. Leading the way. Machine gun at the ready.
Trish's new nickname is White Rabbit.
And then if you could trace behind, make sure that comes up behind us. It'd be appreciated. We'll keep you two in the middle as per usual.
All right.
So as you're walking down this hallway, now the first thing you notice is the hallway itself isn't made out of stone, or at least the layer you're walking in isn't made out of stone. It seems to be that everything is metal plated.
Oh.
So this whole, and it's sort of flat as you walk in, and the walls curve, and then flat right on the top. So it's a bit wider as soon as you walk in.
The room we were just in, it was drywall walls, or was it also metal
That
plated?
seemed to be concrete.
Okay. That makes sense.
Or stone, like concrete. I
Yeah,
would
like a
say.
basement.
Like a basement.
Yeah.
It seemed to be concrete. Actually, fair question.
Or a bunker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so as you all walk on down, you also notice that as you're stepping, like the echoes in this, there's an echoing aspect in this
Settling.
tunnel. As you walk down 200 feet, and at this point you see the first frosted glass window, and it just looks like to be a normal office door.
On the side or in front of us?
Oh, right in front of you.
Okay,
Sorry.
yeah.
This hallway goes on 200 feet, and then there's the door.
Yeah.
And it just seems to be a door placed. And it's around the same size as the metal door. Like it's in the same length and location, but it just seems to be a door put into place. But it has a frosted glass window, and there's nothing etched on it or anything like that. There's just a door there.
I'll open.
Sure.
All right. Same
Yes,
usual
sir.
thing as we do before.
Okay. So Agent Halbrock opens the door, and then you swing in.
Yep.
Swing in with your machine gun. Okay. So what you see is it's not as large as the previous room, of course, but it is still a fairly large room, square, and also everything seems to be metal, like somewhat a metal plated in here. You realize this would have taken a lot of work to complete. A lot of work to complete. And there are also machines in here, but not like the previous room. And then you realize, can you roll me a mechanics check, actually, really quick, Mr. Mick? I guess that's what we're settling on.
Uh, 62 out of 46.
So don't forget to put a tick in mechanics. Because
Are-
now everyone's ticks are clear.
Yeah. Are the machines running? Like, are they making noise?
Yes. They are running. The mechanics check was to see exactly, because you don't see any of the generator type of things in there. Right? So, yeah. It's just how it's working isn't really important. But right in front, it's around, I'm going to say it's around a 40 foot by 40 foot room. So that's fairly big. Right? And it's squared with metal plates. And there's a pile of like old, well, recent for this stuff, but instrumentation things with like, rolls of paper, and you can do, you know,
okay, yeah.
they're like large square, large towers, sorry. And, you can print off information. And
It's like an
stuff.
operations center.
Like an operations center. And you see that there's a, right in front of you, there's a chair. Looks to be quite a comfortable chair. And sort of a rounded control panel. So like a rounded desk built into sort of the wall, if that makes sense. And you see monitors.
Ooh.
You see monitors. Now all the monitors are blacked.
Right.
Like they're not on, I should say. They're off. All the there's 9 monitors. 3. That's up there. And there's like levers and stuff like that is in front of you. And just to the right of that, in the wall, seems to be a sealed hatchway, like you would see on a submarine or something like that, with the wheel that you have to, but it's a sealed hatchway. And there is a small, like, porthole window. It's not glass, like, those thick.
Yeah.
Like, there's just a porthole window that you can look into. Yeah.
How long did you say you were stationed here for?
A couple of years.
And Dr. or Director Quell would have been here before you started, correct?
I would assume. I've never heard anything about a change in leadership.
Okay. Dr. Eakley, is there a possibility of being able to see if we can get those monitors working?
I can take a look. So
I'm gonna
I'll head
walk.
over and see if I can turn them on and boot them up.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm going to walk over to the porthole.
You're going to walk over to the portal.
I'm going to close the door. Because it's just a normal door.
Yeah, and that's the weird thing. It is just a normal door. Bureaucracy, right?
It's still a half a second stall if something wants to come through.
Yeah, Nurse Harrison, like you said, there didn't need to be a door,
No.
but there is one. Because we should put a door there. Maybe an armoire. Like, right? And that's just
I'm
what
going
it
to
is.
join you at the portal.
Okay, so I'm going to say, because you said it first, that you go to the porthole, and you're looking in, and you're like, oh, and then you walk over as well. Mr. Mick and Trish, what would you like to be doing?
You say there was a chair and
There
a
is.
desk to watch them on?
Well, yeah. So it's sort of like a rounded control panel desk built into the wall.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of instruments are and stuff
Alright.
like that. And that's where Ginny is sitting down trying to figure out.
Okay.
And like on the wall in front above it is like 9 monitors. It's like a control
Yeah.
center.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
But only the one chair in the whole room.
Only the one chair in the entire room.
And the nicest chair we've come across this entire facility?
Yes. A very comfortable, nice chair.
Artist's real office, clearly.
I'm just going to stick with them because right now there's just the door and this porthole, which apparently is where they kept this biological specimen, potentially, or whatever. So, I'll keep myself kind of halfway in between the door and halfway to where they're going to be potentially opening this hatch or whatever.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm gonna go over to the monitors and stuff like that with her.
Okay, fair enough. So basically, it is a fairly small room. So now that I basically know what you're all doing, I am going to call for a computer science roll from Ginny.
58 out of 44.
Oh, you did increase your computer science.
Yes,
though,
I
at some
did.
point. Yes. So 58 out of 44. So you start through it. I just mean it takes time. Yeah. As you're doing that. I'm going to say a half hour passes.
Okay.
Okay?
Kind
As you're sort of figuring it
this
out.
thing.
And basically, instead of knowing immediately how to turn on the system, What did you... Oh, 58, right?
Yeah.
I was making sure it wasn't a critical.
It explodes.
But it just takes you longer than normal to get the system going. But you do get the power onto it.
Okay.
The issue is there's nothing coming on to the monitors as of yet. So I'm just going to go back to everyone else, and then I'll come back to you for another computer science check to try to figure out what's going on with the monitors.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Okay. So a half hour goes by. But before that, I need to go to Agent Halbrecht and Nurse Harrison. Nurse Harrison, you look into the porthole first, and you look in there. It's sort of rounded, so it sort of makes it a little bit distorted on the other side. But it looks to be a fairly large, rounded room, almost like a sphere
Okay.
room. And like this hatchway, it's not like it opens up to a hallway into this room. It looks like it opens up onto this sphere of this room.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
not like it's flat. It's like
Yeah. The
if you
bottom
open it
is a
up,
sphere.
It should you're like, and it's the sphere. And as you sort of crane and look up on an angle, you can see it's like I would say it's similar in size, a little bit bigger than this room, I'd say, but it's rounded. So I would say a diameter of 50 feet.
Oh, okay.
So it's a
And is in this door kind of in the middle, so that it's just as high up as it is down, or we're more at the top, or more at the bottom?
sort of in the middle,
Okay.
looking from that view of the sphere.
Yeah.
So you would guess that if
So
you
the ceiling
open,
is about as far away from us as the floor is.
yeah, so
Okay.
like 25, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, like if you look
Yep.
at the, you're at that middle point. But as you sort of look up, what you can see at the top, even though it's a bit rounded, is a closed, same type of plates as the thing that rose up,
Yeah.
but it's a, you know what I mean, a circle,
Yeah.
but it's closed
Huh.
up top.
You said, was there something in the center of the room, you said?
There doesn't seem to be
The whole thing is
anything
just-
in the room, but also this porthole, it's like, it's hard to see in, and it doesn't, there's very dim lighting in this room. Like just very dim lighting, and you can see that there's some areas in the sphere where there's like a what's it called when there's a recessed light? It's covered.
Like a pot light?
Like a pot light. And because there's like glass or frosted something over it, it's dimmer in the room.
Okay.
But it looks like, it doesn't look pristine looking through the porthole. It looks like there's stains and stuff around.
Oh.
Like you can see darkened in different areas and stuff like that. Yeah. But that circular looks like a hatchway, but it's, you can tell by looking at it, it would open up like the other door.
Yeah.
Smegment. Okay, Red Dwarf. Smegment.
We only used 16 of the 24 of the 30 cards.
16 of the 48.
The 48 cards, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to look through the porthole, see what I see, and that's not going to take half an hour. So I'm going to just take a look through the rest of the room, try and see, is there anything here written on paper? And if not, do I have any idea what these machines do?
Okay. You don't have a mechanic. You don't like have a... Can you roll me a medicine?
Sure.
If anyone else is also doing it, who in the group has the highest medicine? Because you're all together. If you're separate, it matters.
It's probably you.
61.
Yeah, I have 41.
Okay, so just as, just to roll, go right ahead.
14.
14%. Okay, so a lot of these are sort of like a group of sensors. So there must be slight little openings around the sphere to get readings through tubes of something that's in there.
Okay.
And then it reads out.
Huh.
So it's also... Can you roll me a chemistry roll, actually?
68 out of 63.
Oh,
Ah,
Hey, these things happen. Don't forget to put a tick into chemistry, though.
Lucky.
Oh.
It'll be easier next time, see?
burn so much luck.
Yeah. Hey, it's a dice game sometimes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Well, it is a dice game all the time, but, yeah, so it's basically medical readouts from things to do in the room. Could you specifically roll me another mechanics check?
38 out of 46.
Okay, so what you do realize is the way some of the piping's in that goes into the wall.
Mhm.
You recall some other piping coming out, because you remember I explained those like back to tanks.
Yeah. Which we didn't really take a very close look at.
No. But, because you went to the computers and then everywhere else was sort of searched, that the piping coming from some of these machines go right into those back to tanks.
Oh.
I keep calling them back to tanks, but they're containment,
Yes. Tanks.
tanks. Yes. So basically, working together, you realize that there are samples at one point taken from that containment sphere, filtered through this diagnostic system, and then pumped into those back to tanks. If that makes sense.
And the readouts that are coming from these machines, it's being printed on paper, or it's
It's like a very thin paper that's there's none rolling out now. 'Cause there's nothing that is trying to read. But you know what I mean? It would be medical. It would be, or chemical composition, or stuff like that. Yes.
And is there any printed data there now, or is just the blank paper ready to go if samples were started to be taken? Like,
There is no paper in here now.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just.
Can you read any of this?
It's not. There's no information here. It would be taking information if. I would assume the computer has to turn it on, or someone. I've never used a machine like this before.
Well, no, I mean, there's already paper that has come out of it.
No.
No, that's what I mean.
I misread that.
All you see is a little bit of paper sticking out to start running, but there's nothing on it. But at this point, because you mentioned this, Agent Hubbard, can you roll me a criminology check?
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Cool.
I wish you'd make one of them when I call for it. I'm just joking. What's your criminology?
Not 86.
It's 89.
It's
Even
89?
worse.
89. It's not
Oh,
89.
okay. Fair enough. Yeah, but so it doesn't seem to be that there's any paper.
I haven't made that check once yet. It's like my bread and butter.
You get to put a tick in it, though.
Oh, shit!
You get to put a tick in your criminology. I don't know why I sang it.
Because you could.
Because I would and I could. Okay. Yeah.
Criminology, you said? 73. Fucking Christ.
Okay. So I'm just going to say, after checking out the machines and everything else, and I'm assuming, Trish, you're just sort of pacing, doing your military thing, and you were doing the mechanics thing, I'm going to call now, once again, for computers check. I'm assuming as you're checking on the monitors.
Yes. 43 out of 44.
43 out of 44.
That's a pass.
Is a success as you start accessing documents in this workstation.
Okay.
And accessing operational information.
Clickety, clackety, clackety, clickety.
Okay.
Okay.
Click, clack.
So, now you find that this system that you're in has more admin power than the systems that were outside. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Yep.
Right? You're cutting through a bit of red tape.
So admin access.
Yeah, sort of. You just it's more of a secure system.
Okay.
Okay. And you sort of hacked into it is the easiest way to put it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Man.
Hacker man.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. So what you find out here is that opening of the egress point inside the sphere, or like the main exit of the sphere, the circular door, is the last time it was opened and closed was January 30th, 1968.
Okay.
Under the authorization of, in name, Dr. Artis Quell.
Okay.
And it seems it was opened
Okay.
and then closed 5 minutes later. It hasn't been touched since.
Do you tell us that?
Nope.
Oh, you're not. Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Do the screens turn on?
Well, the screens have always been on. She's just hacking it.
Not the monitors, just
No, the monitors?
Yeah.
No. That you're going to get more information. So you find that out, right? That's just something you find out under the error codes. Was there something else before he did?
Oh, no, keep going.
Yeah. And then you, on the side of that, now since you're into the system, you go to the 9 monitor situations. No, the things you notice is that 9 monitors required 9 cameras in different areas. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Right? That's what it is. 8 of the 9 cameras, there's just you can't. There's nothing. There's no camera anymore to get a feed from. Now, Zach, would that just be static then, or just nothing? I know, as a tech.
It depends on the system. Yeah, there'll be either a text that says no input or just snow. It depends on if the physical structure is still there or not. It could be either.
I will just say snow.
Yeah.
Why not? So it's just fuzzy. But one of them is active. Okay? Now, but on your little computer screen, it doesn't show you what's on that.
Oh. Okay.
You'd have to put it on the monitor. You know what I mean? It's not like you can. It's off, but you can turn it on, and then it'll pop up on the monitor up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will swing it onto, put it up on the monitor.
Okay.
The one camera.
Yeah. So you put on the monitor, and there's just, it's almost like a little. Yeah.
It's the way the old tube TVs.
Yeah. And it's a grainy camera, but it seems to be a camera. It's weird, but it's a camera above, on the other side of that circular entrance.
I figured.
Oh, so it's on the outside.
Yeah, it's on the outside.
Oh, shit.
Right? Because what you see is the camera seems to be on some kind of a post or something like that. You can't see what it's on because it's...
Well, yeah.
But it seems to be a little bit higher, sort of looking down on that circular entranceway. And what you notice, though, is the jungle is sort of overgrown a bit up over it. But it seems that this sphere is around 10 feet out of the ground.
Oh.
Like you can see it out of the ground.
Yeah.
And then there's vines and the jungle is growing up over it. And then there's that opening up there.
Okay.
Does that make sense what I'm describing?
Yeah. Is that's this other room?
But yeah, from the outside, yeah.
What? Why would that? So whoever are the other cameras? Are they not working?
I can't get them up.
When was the door closed? The round one?
What do you mean? When was it closed?
Yeah, because you... Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut off.
How do you know what was opened?
I read over...
Yeah, the shoulder the first time. So
you were over with me? I thought you were over
No. Okay, so I'm going to explain just really quickly. He's not referring to this time. He's referring to the information you gathered in the other computers.
Oh, right.
Where I did say there was an unauthorized... It was an error code that was unauthorized, even though it was off. You know what I mean? Because it's not supposed to be opened. That's what I meant by unauthorized. But he did read that it had been opened.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not questioning
You're just
that.
getting more information now.
Okay.
I'm not questioning Zach. This is Carolyn has no idea about any of this.
Yeah. But I just wanted to clarify before we got into, you don't know this,
Yeah.
because he does know that part.
Does it say when it was closed again?
Gave me the year 1968?
That's-
January 3rd. Well,
So it was closed almost immediately after it was opened.
It was opened for the evacuation?
I guess. I mean, I don't know.
Says.
But it begs to question.
Does it
Were they
say
evacuating?
what time?
Does it say the time?
It doesn't say the time. It just says the date.
you could delve deeper because there should be a time code stamp. But actually, it does seem, as you're looking at it, that the time code is corrupted. That's the easiest way for me to do it. It just happened on both events of it opening and closing happened on January 30th,
It's the same day.
1968.
Yeah, so I can't get any time.
Yeah.
It's still something.
But it just shows that it was the day.
What?
Yes,
does
That's the
exactly.
thing.
What was in there?
Oh, it said biological something. What it is, don't know.
Whatever it is, they were taking samples of it and sending them to those tanks we saw in the other room. If you guys are working here, I'd actually like to go back and
Gather some samples.
Well, I'm not proficient in that. I was going to. There's one more research station we haven't looked at, and then also I didn't get a closer look at those tanks themselves. I honestly, I can't. All I know about these machines is that they're sample collecting machines. This isn't my area of expertise. I wouldn't have the faintest idea of how they work. But maybe if at the last research station someone left some papers around, or if near the tanks there's a label or something, I might be able to find some more information.
I might be able to access to get a printout.
Okay.
That's the only thing I can think, because if it is sending samples, and I see that they have printout, there might be something from the past that's still in the system that hadn't printed out, or maybe it could still be in the unit.
Because whatever was in there isn't there anymore.
I have to interject real quick, just so that we have our bases covered. Can you open the inner hatch from here? And can you close that outer door from here?
So you're talking about, can I open up the sphere,
Yes.
but can I close the other door we went through to get into the hot room?
What access does this have?
So I'll give the answer to this.
Okay.
The hatchway in this room into the sphere is completely manual.
No, not that. I'm talking the circular.
And the circular one is only controlled from this control station.
Okay.
Okay. Can this control station close the doors out there?
What doors?
The ones we opened to get in here.
The massive doors.
Can we close them from inside here?
Oh, are you talking about up the elevator, those security doors?
No.
The computer doors, the sequential.
We use the...
Oh, yes. You can, through this computer system, force those to stay open, if you want. And not
them to stay
them,
open?
but you're talking about the metal plates?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can we close them from in here?
Yes.
Perfect. I'm imagining a situation where if things go wrong, we need to close a bunch of doors that creepy buggers can't bust open. We can pile in here, we can close that door and stay safe in here. It's just as a backup, and I just want to, be covered.
Well,
Now-
this is presumably the only exit out of here, because up the elevator shaft is those things.
Well, that's what I mean.
That's a good point.
If they are able to get through the elevator and down here, at least we can close the doors that we came in through and lock ourselves in here and then go out through the round door.
Well, we'll have to find out whether or not there's a ladder.
Yeah, that would be my only concern, because
That's fair.
the door is halfway up the sphere, like it's a drop.
Well, there are a bunch of offices right outside the experiment chamber that we didn't get. We were only in the director's office.
That's another good point. There could be any amount of information down here that we haven't looked into yet.
I would probably say it was only the director's office that was of note. Everything else was...
Yeah, because you sort of looked in each room as you went out, like through the windows of the doors, and it seemed like regular office. No place was ransacked, like the director's office.
Yeah.
But all this stuff was like lunchroom,
Yeah.
stuff like that, right? Like a storage room, like a janitor's closet, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's pertinent to go all the way back, but definitely the other room with the containers.
Yes.
It was,
Certainly, and that's,
Yes.
yeah. And if you would like to come and grab some samples, or if you have sample containers that you can lend me, I can grab some samples as well, and just give me an idea of what kind of samples you're interested in. I can definitely do that, as you're the only one who can operate the computer.
And
I probably would have, because it's already giving me the data through the printout. The printout's probably more valuable to me than the sample, because then I've already got the information.
All right, then,
Well,
yeah.
we risk a breakout with the sample than with the paperwork.
Yeah, the sample. Yeah, the paperwork's not going to do anything. It's
Right,
just gonna
you
give me a
just had
readout.
mentioned about collecting samples. I wanted to give you that option.
If I can't get a printout, my next plan would be to go get samples.
Okay,
Let me put
then
it that way.
I was going to offer you a way to do both.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to go back to the other room and just keep looking, as I don't think we are all necessary here now.
Sergeant, would you be willing to accompany her?
Yes, I am. Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah, so I guess I'm working on printout. I have a question about the door ceiling. would that be another series of having to do interchangeable?
Not from inside this.
Okay,
control
so it
center.
could be a command.
You can
and
lock.
then it's...
You have complete control over that door. The only reason you needed the key cards
Yeah.
to get in is because you didn't have the access that Dr. Artis Quell did.
Okay.
He didn't have to do that every time. This was just a safety, so somebody else could get in, or a trap if they put in the cards wrong. So they could only put it in if he had informed them how to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's sort of where that
Okay,
was
well,
going.
that's a relief then that we don't have to have
No.
two people to...
So then what were the other cards for? We didn't use all of them. Is there a way to
I
insert
would
the
have to
cards?
take a look. I'm not sure, because I only know about the first 8. and the
Is there a
last
way
8.
to insert them into this computer? Does this computer use them?
I would have to take a look.
Yeah, it would be spending time with this computer trying to figure it out. But you do see, actually, it's pretty easy just to see it, but there is a slot for data cards
Yeah,
on
okay.
this as well.
Okay.
But
If somebody wouldn't mind at some point, I'm going to stay here and help with the computer as much as possible. But if someone would be cool with bringing the box of data cards back in, so we can start messing with those in here. Having them available to us, that would be helpful.
Well, you mentioned that there was a supplies closet out in the hallway.
yes, so that's...
That would be past the other room.
Yeah.
You think there's a ladder in there?
That's a good
If there is
idea.
anywhere that there would be one.
How about I go check to see if there's a ladder, and on the way back, I'll grab those cards for you.
Okay,
Yeah,
good
great.
plan.
Thank you very much.
fair enough. So Trish is going with Nurse Harrison back through the hallway. Okay. Mr. Mick is going to be heading with those two characters as well, but is going to continue on through this room down the darkened hallway to the janitor's closet to check. Well, the rooms to look for a ladder.
Yep.
Yeah. Fair.
Okay, fair enough. And that would mean Agent Halbrecht and Ginny are staying here working on the computer trying to figure this information out. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I am going to start off with Agent Halbrecht and
Okay.
Ginny. I am going to call for another computer science check. I mean, it is what it is.
29 out of 44.
That is another success. So what happens is, as you're plugging through and you're pulling up, what was it exactly? You're trying to get a readout of previous events. Because there's no readout on it now.
Yeah,
You're looking at the
with
backlog of previous events to see if you can print off. Like if it's stored in whatever type of memory it had.
Yeah.
Any information.
Can you print off any of that information, or is the printout specific to one thing?
So the printout is actually the chemical compositions and stuff like that. Those type of printouts.
Yes.
They're not like text.
Yes. No. I was asked, like, are you able to print a hard copy of these security logs? Is there a way to do that?
There might be. There probably is. Like I'm specifically going for the chemical compound information.
Scientific information.
Scientific
We can come
information.
back to that up.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
so-
finished with that, but I mean, like, if afterwards, remember, we're here to acquire as much information as to what happened here as possible.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
let's
I
get
can
the
see.
chemical paperwork, absolutely. But if we can also print off a log, a text-based occurrence of what happened here, then yeah, I'll need to take that back as well.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. So I'm so you do get to an error, not for you, but like a recordings of errors. Right? As they happened. You get to that point and you can check in to get the information on them. I mean, without getting into specific multiple dates and exactly the small pieces of tidbits of information that you find, but you do manage to be able to print off through this. And then there's another, it's not necessarily a printer as such, but what it does is that little data card thing does. Basically, you get the print off of the chemical compositions, okay? Which is, except for you, who else is going to read the fucking right? But when it comes to the reports of the errors, data cards, as you go for a print off, starts coming out of the slot.
Oh.
And so if those data cards are inputted into another system, it'll relay the information that you're looking for.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But
Okay.
like basically what it is this was open then. Basically it looks like back in 1961. 1961 is when the first note of this system being accessed, whether it was in place here or not. And then it's just, logs of, openings, closing, some operational logs and stuff like that. It would take you fucking days to go through it.
Yeah.
Days.
Let's just take the hard copies and bring it back to the guy's home.
Yeah. Because there is so much information, you can't data card it all. There's too much information.
Fuck.
Right? This is the thing. You can... What you figure to be important information, you can data card, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, then let's...
I would say the pertinent information is what happened that day.
That day and any day and the first few days of this facility being here. Obviously, they built this thing to house the specimen. So the days that whatever they learned upon first finding the specimen and the day of the evacuation.
So I'm just going to go ahead and say that because you can look at the information, the text on the computer screen as well, if it's possible, what are your bureaucracies?
Mine is 40.
60.
Roll a bureaucracy check. Because that's what this is.
73.
A ticking bureaucracy.
God, why can't I pass any of these? Okay. Why did they send me on this mission?
You actually have a really good bureaucracy.
Yeah.
And it'll be slightly better now. Hooah.
After we're done.
So,
God.
you're trying to
hate it.
You're trying to look through it and try to, maybe this will work, maybe this will work. You can't really.
Yeah.
You just can't find. It just seems. Combined with the way it's filed in the computer, I don't know how to. I can't really wrap my mind. It's frustrating, isn't it?
Yes!
Computers, man.
Oh,
I have
mysteries
two
are
good
bad.
things on my sheet. I haven't passed neither of them. I passed all the ones I'm bad at, though, which is funny because now I'm really good. Well, I'm now marginally better at them.
Marginally better.
I've gone up
yes.
almost 10% in one of my shit skills. That's great.
Okay. So, since you're the one at the system, I'm going to have you roll a luck roll. High good or high bad to see what information you get because, what are you looking to find? You know what I mean? Like important data, but you need to sort of judge what the important data is, and you both work together on bureaucracy. It's just that his was higher, so he rolled.
I'm going to say high bad.
High bad.
64.
So high is bad.
High as... Oh,
Bad.
shit.
High is bad.
Hi is oh shit.
Yeah, so pile of data cards comes out.
I just fly out and hit her.
No, but you also notice that on the floor there are a couple more of those boxes that are empty. I'm just going to say...
I'm just going to start.
Yeah, and you just file those, so you have a brick of this data information.
We'll have guys back home go through it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Did I get the chemical compound printout?
And okay, so that was the data card part. And yeah, over on one of the machines, it's like as you started to print out and then you went back to this, you can see it like coiling out and sort of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Coming out and then it's sort of coiling on itself as it's like a steady stream of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because it's.
Is this useful in any context outside of a lab?
Well, Ginny can read it.
Yeah.
She's read readouts of these type of things before, but you wouldn't be able to read it because a lot of it is.
No, of course not.
You're a chemist, right?
Well,
You're a.
That's what I mean. Like, is you being able to read it here worth it if we're not staying here? Just
It would be
having
better just taking it. Like, I just take it. That's essentially what I
Okay.
would do.
In the bag it goes.
I'm going to take it.
You know what now?
I'm going to take the printout. Unless you can read it.
Yeah, here's the thing, though. We're here because the U.S. government has asked us to be here, right? If we don't have any need for the information here, then it's going home, which is my job to do. If there's no need to read it, there's nothing we could do about it.
which is fine for the viewpoint. I am just going to throw out a little bit tidbit of
Okay.
information.
Was I missing
Okay?
something?
No, just a little bit tidbit of a clarification. The sole purpose of Ginny being on this team is to validate any information you have to make sure. You know what I mean? That's.
Well, yeah.
But you can still go that line.
Yes, the point I'm getting at is, yeah, absolutely. Read it, but it's going in this bag that is going
That's
back
fair.
to the office back stateside.
Can I take a look at it, though?
Absolutely, that is the point. But when you're done with it, our objective here is if it's relevant, that's what I mean. If it's relevant, it goes in this bag.
Okay, fair enough.
That is our job here.
So I want to take a look at the printout.
Okay, so it's like, you know what I mean? It's sort of roll, almost like a way a receipt would. It just rolls on itself.
Like a seismograph.
So you can take it and you're like, it's this way. Yeah. And you're sort of reading it and you're looking at it, and I need a chemistry roll followed by a botany roll.
Interesting.
Oh, okay.
I just want to see what you can gain from this.
14 out of 63.
Yes!
That's your chemistry roll.
Yeah, and botany, you said?
Mm-hmm.
25 out of 55.
Holy
Nice.
shit.
Okay. Now, quick question.
Yes.
Yes. What I'm going to explain to Ginny is what she gets while she's reading it. Right?
Okay.
Nobody else can
Yeah,
understand
no,
it.
that's fair.
Okay?
Okay.
And then I'm not saying you're not going to relay this information,
Right.
but I'm just saying that what you get from it.
Okay.
What you can get from reading it is that between the years of 63 and 68, okay, is basically, now I know I said that 1961 was the first, doesn't mean it was in place.
Yes, exactly.
But in 1963, there was a biological thing inputted. That's when the readouts, it's sort of like almost a history, started showing readings from inside the sphere.
Activity.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Mick. So you see, you see activity showing. Looking through it, there is definitely plant matter
Okay.
that you don't. Reading it, it just seems impossible. Okay.
Okay.
Right? Like, it's just, as a botanist, you have not seen a readout to do of a chemical composition of a plant or a biological composition of a plant that functioned this way. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. But it seems to be also that whatever was in the sphere to take samples of was also giving off some kind of chemical mixed with spores, if you will. Okay.
Okay.
And it had a lot of what's the word for
I
it?
think psychotropic.
Yeah.
Psychotropic effects, which is why you feel quickly looking over it that this is sort of some of the chemical compositions in the research of what they tried to convert into a weapon.
That makes sense.
And what well, from what you know of chemistry and your successful chemistry track, I don't want to completely swap you in having to make rolls or not give you something. You made a chemistry roll, you made a botany roll. The chemical composition that it seems to be giving off and what they pumped into the tubes, where test subjects would have been, you're assuming,
Okay.
Oh, God.
that's where they put the information to see what it would do to people.
Fuck
You would figure that chemical composition, if it was, and especially you have medicine as well, affected on a human body, would definitely cause severe wasting, like a wasting disease. While also at the same time, strangely, you would figure it would also, for some reason, from the readout, I know this is a lot of information that mightn't be as much as this, but I'm just trying to say, as you're piecing some things together, that would also, strangely, while wasting the physical body, okay,
Okay.
it also seems to have some kind of numbing or pain sedative effect of the person wouldn't be able to feel anything like pain. Okay? So it has this pain numbing effect. And also it significantly increases the amount of oxygen that the blood would take.
Interesting.
Okay.
Okay? Yes. So it seems to be a readout of work taking from some kind of source that you can't piece together what the source would be, but it has an interesting chemical composition that when humans are infected by a hybrid or a gas version of it, would have detrimental effects, which would make it a perfect chemical warfare weapon.
Yeah.
I think that's the short-winded way of me trying to say what the line. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
With an original sample, an actual sample of this, you could duplicate it and tweak it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's not good.
That's what she does.
Yeah. I don't know none of this.
Now,
Okay.
I'm going to ask you that what relevant parts of that are you going to inform Agent Halbeck? Because there are important parts,
Yes.
so it's up to you.
I am only going to relay the chemical composition information.
So nothing unnatural.
No.
The idea that it's blah, blah, blah. So you're going to relay the fact that this is a readout showing the chemicals for research on a chemical warfare thing that had an effect that would be used against people. Is that what you're referring to?
No, just give them the code of what the chemical is, but not tell them about the trials.
Okay. Fair
Can
enough.
you? I'm just gonna say.
So are you
wanna,
telling him
role
that
play it?
it would have been like, yeah, like role play it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sure. I just was curious because it's not everything.
Is it relevant?
The only thing I'm finding here that is relevant is that there was something being studied in this sphere.
Okay.
I have the chemical, or like is it a chemical code or?
Well, the chemical composition is a variety of different things that you could tweak in the lab, but you do have the makeup of whatever this chemical warfare weapon would be.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna say that I have whatever they were studying for the chemical makeup, but that's all I'm getting from the reading.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
But it's from whatever was in... that
Whatever
room?
was in the sphere.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to do something at this point because it's very important to take care of this because this is going to be an opposed roll. 100% this will be an opposed roll because Zach's character is Agent Halbrecht, special agent with the FBI. He is now. Before I just did human int, but there's certain things it should be an opposed roll. Not for him to know what you're leaving out, but to know that you're definitely leaving something out. Is that
A
fair?
lot of info. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Does that make sense to you? That is fair. Yours would be human, because that is being able to tell something's up here. I would say yours would be persuade, unless you can argue that it would be a different skill. I don't know what your persuade is.
40.
Oh, okay. So you did put points in persuade.
Yeah.
Okay. So it is an opposed roll. And I'm hoping that's fair at this stage of the game.
Yeah, I'm not going to magically learn what she's not telling me.
Yes.
41 out of 40.
Put a tick in persuade.
25 out of 60.
Okay, so you realize, and I believe it's not as much about what you were saying, it's about how long you took to read it. Because there was a lot of information. Right? And how long you took to read it, and then when you relayed it. So all that is human int tells you that Ginny is leaving something out.
Okay.
Okay? Because you are being deceptive.
Right.
Correct? You don't know what that is. You don't know how it is. And
yeah.
it could also be simply you're not.
It's over my head.
It's over your head.
Yeah. But so it is on paper some of the stuff that they were getting from that sphere there.
Oh yeah, the chemical composition of it for sure.
Perfect. Okay, so that's what we came here for. Right?
Yeah, I still would like to get a sample of it.
What kind of a sample, though?
Well, whatever was transmitted into the basins. I would imagine that's where the samples are going.
No, that logically tracks. I mean,
That is logical.
my concern would be though. Does the paperwork say anything about it being usable? Like, did they come up with something? Is it weaponized?
All I know is that a physical sample works better with the readout because then we can compare, because if anything has changed,
Right.
we can compare that sample.
That's all sciencey gobbledygook to me. I guess, no, what I'm asking is, did they get something weaponizable out of those vats? Because I would be worried, did they get something weaponizable out of the vats?
I don't know about weaponizable, but I know it could be something dangerous.
If we have the paperwork for it, do we need to carry around a potential biohazardous risk?
Again, if it's changed and someone takes it, it could be worse than what the readout has given me. That's the issue. I don't know, because if they were studying a biological thing, who knows if it evolved?
That's fair. Here's what I mean by this. I understand the logic of taking a sample of this. My worry is we have been attacked, and we have as much of a way to get back to out of here as we did getting here. If the sample you collect is damaged, how fucked are we?
I have the abilities to contain it, like put it in a container.
Okay.
Right, so that it's not gonna.
Can
Yeah. No, I have the means that it's not gonna break, and all of a sudden we die.
Right, it's not just a glass vial you're putting in.
No.
Okay, so if you take this sample with the samples that we're supposed to be bringing back home, we're safe.
Yes,
Okay.
I'd make sure it's sealed. Yes.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense. Is there anything else we can get out of this computer?
Unless I go through it's gonna take a long time.
And at this point, I'm just going to call for an alertness check from both of you separately.
Ooh.
And I know I'm going to come back out to everyone else. An alertness check from both of you separately.
55 out of 24.
19 of 55.
Okay, so your alertness, as you mention the thing about the computer and you look over, you see down at the computer screen a little pop-up appear to do with the camera. Right? Like a little pop-up appear. Now you just see on it camera so. You don't understand as much, so I'm assuming you would point it out.
Yeah, I would try to say, Doctor.
And
motion towards it.
And as you look at it, you can see what appears to be a sound file. As it also has audio. And it's picked up something to activate it to show a warning of sound coming from around the camera's vicinity.
Thank you for listening to The Call, 1973. The next episode will premiere Tuesday, May 28th at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on YouTube before going up in all of our audio services just 1 hour later. Support us over on Ko-fi. A single coffee, just one time, gets you into the community Discord. If you're able to provide continued support, you get access to behind-the-scenes commentaries. Our next GM Fireside Chat will be announced soon, so join our Discord for be the first to know more about that. Spacers and The Call Arc 5 have begun recording new episodes. Stay tuned to our channel as we'll be announcing air dates very soon. As usual, we'll thank all of our donators over on Ko-fi, including Noah, 3 Slugs in a Trench Coat, Autumn Beamer, Ed Lore, TJ, Josiah, Rosa, Tyler, The Weej, Austin, James, Maddie Cowgill, Blizzard Warning, Sydney, Baba Yaga, Shadow Rose, and Preston. Your players for tonight were Elizabeth Wells, Janessa Coles, Lindsay Delansky, Scott Gillis, and Zach Barrett. Your GM or handler was Derek Snow. Have a good night, everyone, and we'll see you next time.